Mark Donohue was a champion in 1969 SCCA Trans Am competition with the Camaro. This 1969 Camaro Z28 is the street version of it. And to see this and other great cars that made history, join us here in the Audrain Museum Network, and Jay Leno and I will take you back in time and into the future.
Yeah.
Subscribe now.
Donald will take you back. I will move you forward.
Well, Jay, one of the most enjoyable and fascinating periods of my youth was when I became completely captivated with the Trans Am Racing series.
Right, right.
It was amazing, both the under 2 liter with the Porsche versus Alpha battle and the over 2 liter with every American car versus every other American car battle, Mustangs, Camaros, Javelins, Firebirds. It was absolutely astonishing, and I was fascinated by it.
And it's interesting to me, too, this Camaro. My theory that the first generation of anything is always the best. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a Mustang, and then this is still the first generation body of the Camaro. This is still the best looking Camaro.
Beautiful car.
Later, I mean, nice greenhouse, window, you can actually rest your arm on. You know, the modern Camaro, I feel like I'm a tank commander. I'm looking through a slit, you know? I mean, it's a nice enough looking car. It's just not as good looking and as proportioned as this one is.
Now, this is one of the most beautiful. Again, this is a period of GM design that I really love. That mid '60s period, especially '67 through '69.
Yeah,
made some incredibly beautiful cars. And what is also great about this period, which again is something that we only have today, perhaps in GT3 racing, where you actually could buy and drive on the street a car that was directly related to a car that was racing.
Right, right, yeah.
And this Z28 was a homologation special, so that Chevrolet could race the cars in Trans Am, and it was an astonishing thing. Apparently a lot of Chevrolet enthusiasts and even some insiders thought that the 302 engine that was made for this car was sort of a slightly artificial thing made to fit the SCCA rules that the engines had to be under 305 cubic inches.
That's exactly what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly. And this is the only time, you know, manufacturers never had a problem exaggerating the horsepower claims of their cars.
Right.
Whereas this is the complete opposite. This, I remember they said it was 290.
290
but it was actually
exactly
375 or maybe even more. But for whatever reason, insurance or liability,
they wanted to be responsible, you know,
right,
as manufacturers, even though, yes, we're going racing with this car, but the one you drive on the street is a nice, socially acceptable model.
But the funny thing is, it's basically, a little while back we drove the Nova, that Nova Deuce, the Yanko.
Yes.
Same transmission, same drivetrain. This seems so much more substantial and solid. I mean,
well, it is one of those things, again, remembering roots. The Nova was a compact economy car.
Right.
And the Camaro was conceived as the Mustang fighter.
Right.
And so GM really put a lot of thought into the Camaro and the Firebird about what they would do, and the fact that they were confident enough to take them racing, and obviously did extremely well. 67 belonged completely to the Mustang.
Right.
And GM came back 68. The title was won by the Firebird. And then 69 was owned by the Camaro.
Right,
the Penske Camaros, Mark Donohue. Now, of course, we won't get too far into the fact that the cars were total cheater cars.
Right,
with super thin body panels and all of the stuff that bore no relation to the Camaro that you could buy from the street. But nonetheless, it still was a winning car.
And it's also the era when everybody ran their own engine, which made it exciting. You know, you go now and you got the Tampex car versus some other car, the Tide detergent car, and they both have the same V8. It could even be from a foreign manufacturer. And the bodies, the doors don't open. I mean, they're not, it's not.
You have Toyotas running V8s that
right.
never appeared near a Toyota factory.
Right, exactly.
Now, this is definitely the thing. And again, for a lot of people, we talk all the time about one of the cars with which I'm obsessed, and as are you, the Shelby GT350.
Right.
People, I think, who have not experienced this car, the American Motors AMX, these are cars that are really solidly built, powerful cars that were designed to handle, stop, steer. I mean, everything you wanted a car to do. They're not this sort of mindless, all-engine, nothing else kind of car. They're really sophisticated in a way that people, I think, would be shocked who've never driven one.
It is quite pleasant to drive. All your sight lines are good. Nice greenhouse. I mean, it's really a great car. And
of course, we were talking about the design. Before we got in the car, we were walking around it, looking at a couple of details of fit and finish. And one of the things that is so wonderful, that also here in the Audrain collections, and you and I drove it in one of the videos here in the Audrain Museum Network, the fabulous 69 Camaro, the Mule by Mark Stilo. Great GM engineer who took the 69 Camaro and made it what the engineers and designers wanted it to be. Every inch is beautifully fitted, and it was born with an amazing turbo V8 that I think put out something like 500 horsepower, which is absolutely astonishing, and a beautifully made and crafted chassis. It was later upgraded to 1,000 horsepower, which I think is slightly painting the lily, as the expression goes. But you know, I think that as the ultimate expression of what the engineers created in 1969 with this Z28, I think it's really an amazing concept and an amazing realization. This is a great car.
Did this ever come with power steering, or you couldn't get a Z28 with power steering?
I don't know. I would imagine that it probably didn't. I don't know if that had to do with the homologation aspect of the car. Because again, as we discussed when we drove the Nova, the Yenko Deuce, that it did have power steering, but of course that was not a homologation car. It didn't matter. But I think that for this, you tell me, how was the handling once you get the car going? Obviously at low speed it's very heavy.
Oh, you know, it feels very well placed. It feels solid. It doesn't feel like a 60s car. It's actually quite nice.
And one of the advantages also of a 1960s performance car is the fact that these cars, by today's standards, are really big. You've got tons of room inside. You never ever feel cramped. You drive some of the modern performance cars, and you're sitting up on each other, and the seat is holding you in like that, and it's a totally different driving and riding experience.
No, this is God, I wish it wasn't raining so we could show what this car is capable of. But every time you hit the throttle, you're breaking those tires loose. Those polyglass tires.
It is one of those things as well that when a car like this is actually driven, it's so much better than displayed. There's a time, as you recall, that the muscle car market had gotten so crazy in terms of valuations that people just washed them in bottled water, loaded them onto trailers, pushed them onto show fields, and they were never actually used. Which was fairly tragic. And you also ended up with cars that didn't really drive particularly well because they weren't sorted. Now thinking about it, obviously, on these public roads in this weather, you're not going to exploit the performance of the car. But one of the great things too, as opposed to, for instance, a drag car, SCCA Trans Am races ran in the wet. So, you know, these cars had to handle it in all conditions. And of course, as all of my friends who are race car drivers say, it's much, much safer to drive in the racetrack where everyone's headed in the same direction. What do you think the feeling is between one of these and a contemporary Mustang? What do you think of sort of the character differences?
Well, I'm not sure what the difference is, really. I mean, they're basically the same car using, I don't know. I don't know. It's all, I thought this was a really good-looking car. And Mustang was kind of a fluke. They never expected it to be the hit that it was. So it came out of nowhere. So Chevrolet could study the Mustang for 2 years before their car came out. So when the Camaro came out, people immediately like, oh, it was better than the Mustang. Oh, it has this, it has this. You know, so.
Yeah, the development cycle for the Camaro, obviously, as you just pointed out, is completely different. The Mustang was, you know, Lee Iacocca's adaptation of the Falcon.
Right. Well, it's interesting because when you look at early Mustangs, 64 and a half, you see some Falcon door handle. They used Fairlane part. Everything that was left over in the interior went into the Mustang because they didn't know what it was going to be. When the Camaro came out, they knew this segment was popular. They knew this was going to be a hit from the get-go, so they could put a lot more effort into the first generation of it.
Yeah, this is designed to feel more like a four-seater Corvette, as it were.
Right, yeah. I think that's fair to say.
And it's very interesting to me that in my experience in driving Camaros and Mustangs, the Camaros always seemed sort of slightly, I don't want to say refined, that's not the right word, but a little more substantial, a little more, the Mustang's sort of lighter.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
And also for me, I found that the comparable Pontiac handled better. They seem to be, I don't know whether they're more suspension guys at
Absolutely, 100%.
At Pontiac,
Absolutely.
or whether it's John DeLorean being an engineer, a real engineer, went into that. But the equivalent Firebird always seemed to handle a little bit better. And it seemed like the rarer of the three.
And the fact that it was, in fact, the Firebird that took the first Trans Am championship for GM was also quite interesting, and I think that it would have probably repeated in '69, but GM wanted to spread the glory among their brands.
Yeah.
But it was something, and it's such a shame that the Camaro doesn't exist anymore, because I think that such an opportunity was missed, especially with Ford putting such great attention into the new Mustangs.
Right.
It would have been fascinating to see that battle head to head. But alas, we have the past in which we can live.
yeah. And this 302 engine was used in the entire Chevrolet line, didn't they? They put it in the Impala. They just put it in everything.
It's like they have it, so why not use it? It's on the shelf.
Yeah. There was no exclusivity. It's got plenty of grunt, and you know, fun thing about this one is it is exactly stock. It hasn't been breathed on or modified for later. It's exactly as it came. Discs in the front, drums in the back, which is kind of weird because Corvette had four-wheel disc brakes. I don't know why they couldn't have done it, but I guess it was all a cost-saving thing.
Exactly. They needed to provide the performance with the idea of cost and the fact that they had to keep differentiating the models because they didn't want to cannibalize sales. But nonetheless, this is a really fascinating, for me, glimpse and chance to drive a genuine homologation special, something that really set the market apart and really established the entire idea of Z28, the RPO listing, as a car to beat, a car to have.